Have you ever felt that prickling sensation on your neck when you're alone, as if someone or something is there with you? A creak upstairs, a shadow at the edge of your vision, and suddenly your heart races. Our minds scramble for explanations. Was it just the wind or something not of this world? The idea of ghosts, spirits lingering after death, has haunted humanity for millennia. Every culture has its own ghost stories, all circling the same question: what happens after we die? The possibility of ghosts hints that death might not be the end. But are ghosts real, or is there another explanation? Instead of chasing shadows, let's use science and curiosity to explore why we believe. We'll investigate the tricks our minds play, the environmental quirks that make a house feel haunted, and why we see patterns where none exist. Our journey isn't about proving or disproving ghosts, but understanding the very human experiences behind these mysteries. Why do we find the idea of an unseen presence so compelling, frightening, or even comforting? The search for ghosts is really a search for meaning within ourselves. Ghosts aren't a modern invention. They're as old as humanity. Ancient Egyptians believed the soul could linger after death, and performed rituals to keep spirits at peace. In Rome, Pliny the Younger wrote of a haunted house, where a ghost's bones were found and properly buried to end the haunting. Across cultures, ghosts are often tied to unfinished business or improper burials. In Japan, yurei, restless spirits bound by emotion, appear in white burial kimonos. Native American stories tell of spirits who guide or trouble the living. From Ireland's wailing banshee to Buddhist hungry ghosts, these tales help us process death, grief, and morality. Ghost stories evolve, but their purpose remains: to make sense of the unknown. They offer hope, warn against wrongdoing, and remind us that our connections may outlast death. The history of ghosts is the history of our search for meaning beyond the grave. That chill in a dark room? Science has some answers. Infrasound, low-frequency vibrations from wind, machines, or storms, can cause anxiety, chills, and even visual distortions. Electromagnetic fields, common in old houses, can trigger hallucinations and the feeling of a presence. Our brains are wired for pareidolia, seeing faces in shadows or patterns where none exist. This helped our ancestors spot danger, but in a creepy basement, it turns shadows into ghosts. Haunted houses are often drafty, creaky, and dim, perfect for misinterpretation. A cold spot might be a draft, a strange smell could be mold, and creaks are just settling wood. When we expect the supernatural, our minds connect the dots. Science shows that hauntings are often a mix of environmental quirks and psychological suggestion. The real mystery isn't what's out there, but how our minds interpret the world. Sometimes the scariest thing in a haunted house is our own imagination. The supernatural often has a very natural explanation. What we believe shapes what we experience. If you're told a house is haunted, every creak and shadow becomes evidence of a ghost. This is the power of suggestion. Your senses are on high alert, searching for the supernatural. Like the placebo effect, belief can trigger real physical reactions: racing heart, goosebumps, genuine fear. Fear puts us in fight-or-flight mode, making us hyper-aware and prone to misinterpretation. In the dark, our brains fill in gaps with our worst fears. A coat becomes a figure, the wind a whisper. Ghost stories plant seeds in our minds, priming us to see what we expect. Visiting a haunted site, every draft and noise seems to confirm the legend. Our imagination, fueled by stories, becomes the architect of the haunting. The mind is a master storyteller, turning suggestion into vivid experience. Sometimes the most convincing ghost is the one our own mind creates. Belief doesn't just shape our reality, it can become our reality. The haunting often starts in our heads. The Ouija board. Does it really summon spirits, or is something else at work? Science points to the Ideomotor Effect. Tiny, unconscious muscle movements guided by our expectations. When you focus on a question, your brain subtly nudges your fingers, moving the planchette without your awareness. In groups, these movements blend, creating the illusion of an outside force. The stronger your belief, the more convincing the effect. This principle explains dowsing rods and automatic writing too. Our minds move the tools, but we don't notice. The ideomotor effect reveals how thought can become action without conscious intent. The real mystery isn't the board, but the power of our own minds. Next time you see a Ouija board, remember, the most powerful force in the room is you. Sometimes the supernatural is just our brains at play. Not all ghostly encounters are about fear. Sometimes they're about love and loss. After losing someone, it's common to sense their presence. A familiar scent, a voice, a fleeting glimpse. These grief hallucinations are a normal part of mourning, not a sign of illness. Our brains, used to a loved one's presence, fill in the blanks with vivid memories. These moments can bring comfort, making us feel our connection endures. Memory is fluid, shaped by emotion. Grief brings memories to the surface, blurring the line between memory and perception. Dreams of the departed can feel like real visits, reinforcing hope that bonds persist. Sleep paralysis is another source of ghostly visions, waking up unable to move, sensing a presence, seeing shadowy figures. It's a brain caught between sleep and wakefulness, not a supernatural visitor. These experiences show how our minds cope with loss and fear. The ghosts we see may be our own memories and emotions helping us heal. Sometimes the most powerful hauntings come from within. Science explains much of what we call supernatural infrasound, EMFs, pareidolia, suggestion, and grief. But science doesn't destroy the mystery. It reveals the mind's incredible power. Our brains weave reality from fragments, filling gaps with hopes, fears, and stories. Ghosts often emerge in these gaps, born from our need for meaning. Belief in spirits speaks to our deepest hopes and fears, offering comfort and wonder. These stories endure because they're part of who we are. Curious, imaginative, searching for answers. Do you believe in ghosts? Maybe it's not a simple yes or no. Science can explain the shadows, but not the meaning we find in them. Whether ghosts are real or imagined, the experience is a testament to the mysteries of the mind. In the end, the most haunted place may be our own imagination.